welcome back to ET40 News. I am your host, Ethan number 1, and this is Learning Log number 5. This will go through September 18th through the 22nd. I move on to Ethan number 2, which is the Masterpiece Theater narrator. Hi, I'm your host. I am the Masterpiece Theater narrator. I just finished Gulliver's Travels. It is really sad. So last time we left him off with the people in the sky. On one of his final adventures, he went to the chapter is called A Voyage to Laputa. Basically, these are people who are very smart at math, and they feared the ending of the world. They couldn't even sleep. They're so crazy they have one eye looking up and one eye looking down. Count Ethan has friends. And they only care about math. That's all they care about. So then he went down to the kingdom called the Ballad and Barbie. So he basically flew down there and they lowered him with a rope. The people down there were basically poor or with rags and stuff. So basically then he went to the good side of the kingdom, where he went to an academy where they have a very strange scientists and strange projects. For example, the one person was extracting light from cucumbers, so when there's a storm outside, he'll let them loose. And then on his final journey, he was offered to be a captain on a ship. He accepted, and then while he was on the seas, his pirates raided his ship and stranded him on a lonely island. Then he found out himself on a very strange island where horses can talk, and apparently the prisoners are humans. So they captured him as a prisoner until the horse kingdom says is basically you have to let him go or kill him. They chose the option to let him go because he said so. And he built a boat, went to another island, not England, and lived in a cave for a while until sailors found him. And then now it's the end of Gulliver's Travels. Now we're going to move on to verbs. There are hundreds of types of verbs. Here are 3 of them. There are action verbs, linking verbs, helping verbs, and verbs, of course. And then there are other verbs. Verbs like the past verb, the present verb, and the future verb. Then I wrote a little adventure called The Adventures of Ethan. I have no idea who's Ethan, but okay, we'll move on. Here's a little bit of it. And one day he was walking around the dock area until he saw Gulliver going on a ship. He tried to stop him, but it was too late. So he took a boat, followed him for 3 hours, until a storm hit him. Then he crash landed on an island. And there are more tips about how my way of to survive a stranded island. That'll be it for this time. And we had some emotions, some sad people, and some very happy people. So we're gonna move on to Ethan number 1. Thank you, Ethan number 2. Now we're gonna move on to some very, very frustrating math, like anything. And the only one person that can do this is Count Ethan. Ethan number 3, we're gonna move on to you. Hi, I'm Ethan number 4. I'm Ethan number 4. And I'll be counting math for you because math is always torture. For this week, I have been working on coordinate planes. Here's just an example of what it would look like. Here is quadrant 1. And basically, it's all positives. But on quadrant 2, it's a negative and a positive. Until quadrant 3, no one knows why, but it's a negative. And then in like quadrant 2, quadrant 4 is positive and negative. And also, I've been graphing linear relations and using the t-table, and here is a couple examples. I have also been learning points on this type of graph. And now we're gonna move on to my twin brother, Ethan number 5. Now, excuse me, I'm gonna go bang myself on the head because math doesn't make sense. Thank you, Ethan number 3. I hope you see a doctor. Now we're gonna move on to his twin brother, the mad astronomer. Thank you, Ethan number 1. And now wait, what's this?
Hello.
Okay. Hey,
It's me.
I just got the information that you can't see me. Okay, so we're gonna continue on like this.
Hello.
Can you hear me still?
Hello from the
Okay.
other side.
For this week, I have watched videos about Copernicus and Galileo, and what they did to astronomy. Then I wrote a report. I wrote a report about Greece and what they did to astronomy. Okay, that'll be it for this time. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up with Ethan number 1. We'll go back to you, Ethan number 1. Thank you, Mad Astronomer. That was very interesting. Now we're going to move on to our second to last person, and the Professor of Medieval History. Thank you, Ethan number 1. It seems like we're still having the technical difficulties of our visual thing, so we're going to keep doing the audio at this time. This week, I studied about the Byzantine Empire. The capital city was Constantinople. Some of the things you would see in the city would be people in togas, shops selling silk and jewelry, and food vendors. There was a beautiful church with a gold ceiling. It was called Hagia Sophia. Constantinople was a big, beautiful city. It had 14 palaces. In 527, Justinian became the emperor of the Roman Empire in the east. But it is now called the Byzantine Empire. When he was young, his parents were poor and he wanted to go to school. So he went to go live with his uncle, whose name was Justin. After he finished school, he went to the army. His uncle made him a senator, and eventually he became the emperor of the empire. His dream was to rebuild the Roman Empire. In 533 BC, he began to fight against the Vandals and the Ostrogoths in Africa and in Italy. He conquered parts in southern Spain, but he died in 565 before his dream could be fulfilled. Before he died, he asked his senators to gather all the laws that had been made in the last 400 years. He got rid of laws that he didn't like or disagreed. He made new laws, which we called the Code of Justinian. Some of them were: everyone can go to the beach. If you find treasure along the river, you could keep it. You could own slaves. Thieves must pay the owner of what they stole. You must warn people below before trimming a tree. Preachers must be loud enough for everyone to hear. He was a good emperor. He conquered many lands. Another law was the sea belonged to everyone, and people could not mistreat their slaves. There. Theodora came from a poor family. She started out as being a circus clown, then an actress, then a wool spinner. She became a Christian and wanted a different life. She met Justinian while he was a senator and married him. They both became emperor and empress together. Justinian listened to Theodora before he made decisions. He listened to her when she said stay and fight the rebels and not to run away. She was very wise and helpful. The Hagia Sophia was mostly destroyed during the riots. It had beautiful mosaic pictures inside. This map shows the Byzantine Empire at the time of Justinian. Justinian built many Byzantine churches and monasteries. On this map you can see Ravenna, which is called the capital of the mosaics. The bishop of the Ostrogoths began to build this church, but Justinian finished it. Ravenna became the home of the Byzantine power in Italy. Also on here is St. Catherine Monastery. It is high on the mountain of Moses in Egypt. It is also known as Mount Sinai. Aoi Theodori is located in Athens, Greece. Justinian did not build it, but it was built after 5 centuries after Justinian. Even though the Byzantine style changed, you could still see many similarities. I enjoyed watching many videos and learning about the Emperor Justinian. Back to you, Ethan, number 1. Thanks, Professor. That was very interesting. Now we're going to move on to our final person, and Tiki. Hi, I'm Tiki, and this is the class about sculpting, drawing, and stop motion animation. For this week, I have been practicing increasing and moving the pictures. My assignment is not until next week, so yeah, I'll be working on it until then. I'll be all for this time. We're gonna go to even number 1 to wrap it up. Thank you, Techie. I'll be all for this time. Next time we might see a man riding hippos and other weird stuff. We're gonna see you next time.